You're watching Jason's Texas Adventures, and I'm over here at the Caddo Mounds State Historic Site with my mom and dad. This is in East Texas near the town of Alto. So what do you say? Let's go check out the sights here. They have a beautiful garden over here. Let's go check it out. It's a beautiful day here, clear skies, but it's warming up fast. This is called the Snake Woman's Garden. Got some beautiful flowers here. Some beautiful rock art. And more beautiful flowers and plants in here. And here's a monarch butterfly. Looks like they got some crops growing over here. So what do you say? Let's go check out the beautiful visitor center here at Caddo Mounds State Historic Site. Think about what life was like back then for the Caddo people. This talks about the Caddo houses, the grass house, and how house building was an important social event involving many members of the village. Political leaders directed the construction, while religious leaders conducted ceremonies. The new occupants provided food. Caddo houses were built by lashing together long poles cut from nearby forest into a conical shape, while cane and heavy grasses covered the sides. The homes typically ranged from 25 to 60 feet in diameter and 40 to 50 feet high. Village leaders often occupied the larger houses. This talks about hunting, and how the white-tailed deer were the preferred game animal of the Caddo. They also hunted buffalo, however their grassland habitat took many days of travel from the Caddo village. The Caddo gathered food from the surrounding forest through much of the year. They knew which wild plants were safe to eat. Many edible greens were harvested in the spring. Wild persimmons, mulberries, blackberries, figs, pomegranates, grapes, and plums ripen in the late summer and fall. Fall was a time for gathering wild nuts. Their fat and protein helped sustain the Caddo through the winter. The Caddo carried wild fruit and berries back to the village in baskets. The women of several families might share a shady brush arbor for food preparation. This talks about how the Caddo women would pound corn into mill. This talks about how trade was an important part of the Caddo people. Copper artifacts, marine shells, and finished stone ceremonial objects excavated from the mounds at this site indicate that they participated in an extensive trade network. A ceremonial center. The mounds all served the surrounding village as a ceremonial center for conducting the important political and religious business of the community. Ritual played an important role in Caddo life. Funerary practices. The burial mound. The burial mound was reserved for the civil and religious leaders. The Caddo believed that the souls of the dead rose up to the house of death where the Caddo governed. It was a happy place, free of sickness and hunger, where the dead stayed until all the Caddo had been reunited. From there, the whole tribe would go to another world to begin a new life. This talks about the trade routes, and the Caddo Nation today. It talks about how they adapted to their new homes and how there were only about 3,500 people in the early 1900s. Think of all the hardships they had to go through. I'm glad they're preserving their history and heritage here today at Caddo Mounds State Historic Site. Let's go take a look outside, shall we? Let's go see an example of one of their houses as well as the mounds. And this is an awesome example of one of their houses that they built. Amazing. And you wouldn't believe how cool the temperature is inside of one of these. Special thanks to this park for letting me drive one of their golf carts so my mom and dad can ride along with me without having to walk. All right, everybody in, let's go for a ride here at Caddo Mounds State Historic Site. I see a mound out there in the distance. It's a beautiful day, blue skies. Let's see, what does this say? Village life. Yep, talks about how life was out here on the village. I want to get a closer view of this mound over here, so let's go and see it. And on the other side of Texas 21 over there is the High Temple Mound. They got a little mock-up of it here. Pretty cool. Alright, let's carry on. Let's go see some more of these historic mounds that the Caddo people built. Love how they're preserving history out here for future generations to enjoy and appreciate.
Is that the bridge? What is that?
Yeah, there's a bridge on the other side. We'll go check that out here in a minute. This talks about how the Caddo workers who built the mounds gathered the necessary soil from excavations or pits and carried it in baskets. It says it took many trips from the pit to the village to significantly increase the height of any mound. So I'm going to go walk over here to this bridge and see the pit that they dug the soil to build the mounds up. Let's go see it. Yep, there's the pit right there. Imagine being one of the Caddo carrying a basket of dirt to build up the mound. And this is the low platform mound. You can see there's another larger mound out that way. Let's go check it out and see. And they've got covered places to sit down and take a break if you're walking this trail. And yeah, this is a much larger mound over here. Let's go see it. That sign says, "Please do not walk on mound." Yeah, that's a much larger one there. Imagine how many baskets of dirt it took to build this one up. This says burial mound. I'm going to get out and give y'all a little closer look here what this says. I'm not going to read everything, but it says, "This burial mound was about 20 feet tall and 90 feet in diameter when the village was abandoned. A series of archaeological excavations beginning in 1939 determined that it was built in stages over a period of about 700 years, ending around 1300 AD. It contained around 90 bodies and about 30 burial pits." There's another historical area up ahead. Let's go see it. This is the historic route, El Camino Real. So I'm going to park the golf cart and let's check this out. Set the parking brake right here and check out this storyboard, see what it says. And this talks about the El Camino Real de los Tejas. And it says it's a corridor for commerce, culture, and change, past and present. It says you are standing at one small point on a legendary network of roads that are across Texas. It was the main overland route from Mexico through Texas and into Louisiana. This corridor shaped the history and culture of the region. Hundreds of years before Europeans arrived, Native Americans established a network of trade routes through the region, connecting people and traditions, carrying crops and goods. When the Spanish arrived in the late 1600s, they called the local Caddo Indians Tejas and renamed their trade routes El Camino Real de los Tejas, or the Royal Road of the Tejas. The Spanish extended and adapted the roads as they sent soldiers to solidify their claims of possession and missionaries to convert the Native Americans. 100 years later, immigrants from the United States traveled this route, bringing their own language and culture. So a very important route right here that we're standing on in American history. And here's the official sign right here. All the way from Mexico City to Louisiana. Let's see what this sign says right here. Walking trail 8/10 of a mile. Caution, alligators at pond, feral hogs, poisonous plants, and snakes. So just be careful. Always be aware of your surroundings. And it is very sunny out here, guys. My shadow keeps getting in the way. Famous and infamous journeys. This talks about some very famous names that have traveled along the El Camino Real de los Tejas. Names such as Zebulon Pike, Stephen F. Austin, and Davy Crockett. They got a nice little area here where you can sit down and take a break in the shade. See a historical marker over there. Let's go see what it says. Very historic place out here. Very well done. Come and bring the family, bring the kids, and have a great time out here, learning about Texas and United States history. This was Zebulon Pike's campsite. He led an expedition to explore the headwaters of the Arkansas and Red River and to report on Spanish settlements in the New Mexico area. Heading south from present Colorado, where the party saw the mountain later named Pikes Peak for their leader, they were arrested by Spanish authorities. Under escort back to the United States, the party camped near this site on June 23rd of 1807. I'll do a little walk here, stretch my legs. You can talk about history, or you can walk about history right here as I'm doing. Think about what it was like here in the past, living off the land and surviving by what Mother Nature provided you with. A welcome rest for weary travelers. It says during the height of travel along the El Camino Real de los Tejas, this site was a frequent rest stop. It was known as Place of the Little Hill. And this talks about travel encounters along the El Camino Real de los Tejas. It says on a good day, a Spanish wooden freight wagon could travel up to 18 miles before sunset along the El Camino Real de los Tejas. It also talks about the Franciscan Order of the Catholic Church and how they were responsible for establishing missions in East Texas beginning in 1690. And yeah, ruts in the road, and how constant traffic over many years created ruts, and I'm sure some of them are still visible today. Got some beautiful flowers along the road here. And it's heavily wooded out here. These are the piney woods of East Texas. Off to the left up here, there's an old barn. I'll try to zoom in on it for you. Wow, you can tell that's been there for many, many years. I'm sure it's seen better days too. Here's a better angle of it for y'all. Nothing like going on a little hike down a historic road in American history, huh? I tell you, it's warming up fast. This shade right here feels good. All right, back to the golf cart I go. So guys, this has been one historic tour in Texas and American history, and I want to thank y'all for coming along for the ride. From Caddo Mounds State Historic Site near Alto, Texas. Thank y'all for watching, everybody. I'll leave y'all with one more shot of this beautiful Caddo house. Think of what life was like back then, back in the day.